G'day there, it's Duncan here. Let's talk about Australia's tax system because most people don't realise how strange it actually is. Australians pay around 165 different taxes across federal, state and local governments. Now that sounds enormous, doesn't it? But here's the kicker, about 90% of all government revenue comes from just 10 taxes. And at the top of the pile is personal income tax, the biggest money spinner in the country. Then you've got GST, company tax, payroll tax, superannuation taxes, fuel excise, tobacco excise, alcohol taxes, stamp duty on property and land tax. That small group funds most of the machinery of government, which raises a simple question. If 10 taxes raise almost all the money, why do we have another 150 floating around the system? Economists have been pointing this out for years. Many of those smaller taxes raise tiny amounts of revenue, yet they require paperwork, compliance officers, auditors, and entire departments to manage them. Businesses have to track them, accountants have to calculate them, governments have to enforce them. Sometimes the cost of collecting the tax isn't far off the money it brings in, which doesn't make sense. So the reform argument is pretty straightforward. Scrap dozens of the minor taxes, simplify the system, rely mainly on the major revenue sources. So we've got fewer taxes, but clearer ones. Sounds logical, right? But here's where the reality kicks in. Taxes in Australia are split between federal and state governments. States rely heavily on things like stamp duty and payroll tax. And the moment you remove a tax, someone somewhere loses a revenue stream, which means tax reform quickly turns into a political knife fight. So we're left with a system where a handful of taxes raise the money and a long tail of smaller levies create complexity. Australia doesn't necessarily have a high tax system by global standards, but we do have a complicated one, and sometimes the smartest reform isn't raising taxes or cutting them. It's simply cleaning up the mess.